Hey there, everybody. Welcome back. We're going on a wild ride today. Now, many of you know this map. This is Urbano Monti's 1587 Planisphere. And I'm only pulling it up for a second. The reason why I'm pulling it up is because on the land masses that we call Antarctica, but on this map there's no ice, there's just land masses. There are passageways through. And this is the whole point of the video. This is not a great picture, but this is the one that David Weiss has been showing on his channel quite a lot. And as we know, it's speculative, as all maps are speculative. We're speculating here, thinking outside the box, but we're thinking outward. We're not thinking upward, okay? But again, Antarctica, and even on this, you've got gaps through. If there are outer realms, there's gaps through, and there's gaps through. Yeah. So let's go on a wild ride. And I mean a wild ride, okay? Now, this map has cropped up. It is called the Notum Mundo map. Now, it's a bit wild looking for me, okay? Especially the way the colors are and the way the psychedelics are and the rest of it, okay? It's got a date up here, AD 1830. Now, later on, somebody said that this dude here was Napoleon's son. Who knows? This fucking thing here could have been Napoleon's son. But let's get cracking. Now, I ain't going to read through all of this, okay? But this here, it's just the ice wall, and this here's just outside of it. And these here are lands that are supposed to be outside of the ice wall. Now, this is a familiar name, Thule. Now, this is not a familiar name, Kaipuki. But I ain't going to read through all of these here. These here are supposed to be lands out there, and there are names to them. This gets worse. And there are gates, like the gates that we showed on Urbano Monti's map, and the other map that David Weiss is showing up. And this here is called the Sentinel's Gate. And there is a lot of information here, which I ain't going to go through, about the different types of people who live around here and on these islands. I am going to get into some of it, okay? I'm going to get into a little bit deeper into some of it. I'm going to get into some of the juicy bits. But there's so much to this. This would take weeks to go through. There's so much to it, but I'm just going to go through a few of the juicy bits. And just down below the Sentinel's Gate, you got this place here, Thoth, the nomad continent. Yeah? Some of this writing here talks about groups of people from our world who left our world and went outside of here because of tyranny and the colonizing of the worlds beyond the ice wall. So there's that information also. It matches up with the story in the Iron Republic. Now, is this getting crazier or what? Okay, look at this. Missing. Have you seen this landmass? Last seen in the Irish Sea in the year I-656. £12,500 sterling reward for accurate information verifying the whereabouts of His Majesty's beloved Isle and his Manx subjects. Can you fucking Adam and Eve that? Now, in some of these pictures, they're showing you the inhabitants of these regions. You've got freaking Bigfoot down there, wandering around, leaving footprints and confusing people. Now, here's a few more of these places and what they're called, okay? That's outside the Sentinel's Gate. Min and Minevis, the Avalons, yeah, with big lizards. Hybramasog, Do you know what's going on here, sweeties? There are a lot more signatories to this Antarctic Treaty than what they've been telling us. Islands of the Blessed Quiruva and Chidola. Okay? So what we got here is our 49 or 59 or 69 stupid nations inside the ice wall have a treaty out here. Who's the treaty with? The treaty's with all these people who live much further out. And this is the little interzone where they can trade. This is what I reckon. It gets worse. I just pulled this up here because of these places here, the Leviathan Gate. Roger's dragon made it came through here. Zura? There's a lot of people involved in this stuff that's going on and this trading that's going on in Antarctica. A lot. And then out here, just off the coast of Ireland, you got the Loch Ness Monster. Did you, Adam and Eve, that? Whoops, I keep knocking things. Yeah, okay, but back out a little bit. Zura, Paitatia, Shangri-La. Wow, and there's other places I can't really zoom in on. Right, we'll read through this here for a second for a laugh. Zura, God's hallucination. This tropical continent is similar in size to Europe, yet far more climatically diverse. From misty, temperate woodlands to dusty inland deserts, lush lowland swamps and towering mountain ranges. Its scenic vista would be breathtaking to anyone with a clear view, but rarely are they perceived with a sober mind. This land is drenched in naturally occurring hallucinogenics carried in the pollen that fills the air, the microbes in its lakes and rivers, and the flesh and fluids in its fauna. Zerzura has a variety of mechanisms to alter the mental state of anyone who treads upon its lands. Rivers of acid. For its inhabitants, the line between the real and unreal is constantly blurred. Most outsiders would say that the word Zerzuran cannot be trusted, but the locals have come to find that while their view of physical world may be distorted, it is only because they can see everything otherwise invisible to the human eye. So yeah, we're at the Leviathan's Gate. These islands around here, Al-Wala, this is from Oman, okay? Sidindian, Scandinavia. Can't pronounce that, but it says post-Dutch. Look at all these fuckers have these colonies out here. Zerzura. If you want to stop this and try and zoom in on it, please do, but I'm not going to go start reading through it all. Cannot do. You got some crazy looking figures on it, like guarding some places. Now we're at the Serpent's Gate. Another gate. Snakes, crazy things. Can't read all of this. Tool is over here. This is not a very clear, it doesn't even come clear through to me, so there's only bits of it that I can read. New Schwabenland. There's wolves with beards. Bearded hound. You can read that if you can stop and read it, yeah? And then you got the Tiger's Gate. And you got this half tiger, half honey badger with a big long tail. You've got guys out here shooting at one another. Guys with spears, flags. The Tigrobro Republic Star. There's some weird alliances going on out here too. We'll get to that. So, the Serpent's Gate is up here. The Tiger's Gate is down here. You got all this land outside here. This is our world. Ireland man is still missing. And you've got some type of ape man here in Australia. Right. Look at these places. Huh? New Portsmouth. Republic of Soledad. Guillermo Splendinin. Post-Venetian. Batavia Port belongs to the Adaig. They are foreigners, let me tell you. A highly diverse mix of Dutch, British, Chinese, Javans, Papuans, and Maori manning the frosty ports so that the Adake can make its ventures beyond the Antarctic, known for passing the time with a variety of sports played in fields of rocky mounds padded with snow. I'd call that dangerous football. Wahoo. Now, we're back at New Schwabenland here, and this place up here, the Federation of Oimino. That's maybe a bit clearer there if you want to stop and raid. Right, here we go. Would you hear this shit? Splendinium post-Venetian. This surprisingly wealthy nation serves as a preferred port for all ships passing through the Serpent's Gate. The beauty of its capital is renowned worldwide, with immaculate towers of ice carved from coastal glaciers, housing great casinos and markets full of luxury goods from around the gate and exotic lands that lie beyond. These fucking Phoenicians are robbing everybody. That's around the Serpent's Gate. Yeehaw! Now look what we got. We got a prison colony. UK criminal colony, administered by the Australians, governed as part of Australia and settled originally by especially bad criminals, actual mass murderers and the sort, and then less horrible ones when Australia began using it as the Brits originally used Australia. This territory matched the Yi colony in terms of alcohol consumption, Gyako in terms of gambling, and outpace all of their neighbours when it comes to shady dealings performed out in the wilderness. You fucking some dodgy shit going out there. I said before, there's pirates out here. Watch your step. Don't get in a fucking boat and go. And around the Serpent's Gate, you've got Minza Magaruchi. It's fucking Japanese, and it's Ainu. Alright? And you've a Yi colony here from the Koreans. A lot of shit going on. Right. This area is called Dishiposu. And this guy's the phantom gorilla, or girl. Blemmies. Chestmen. Okay? There's a hell of a lot of colonies here. I can't really even read them very clearly from here, so I don't know how we're going to get to read them clearly. We will zoom in on a few of them later. Many different colonies. Portugal. Japan. Mixed with names we can't recognize, foreigners from foreign lands. And they're up to all sides. It even explains what these people get up to together. Look, there's a Blemmy, and there's two more Blemmies, and Blemmy man, Blemmy woman. It gets funnier. And this other area up here called Xenonesia, the Circle of Invasion. Not far from Dishiposu. It didn't appear on the last slide. There's a close-up there now of what it says about Xenonesia, and a bit of a close-up of some of these other places and what they're called. There's a place called Golok, Burma. Golok is a Sanskrit word referring to spiritual world outside of the material world completely, right? Circle of the Prophet. Circle of the Sea form. Weird named people out here. Imagine learning their language. There's a bit of a close-up now of some of these colonies. Circle of the what? Tau. Korean Neferbasta. Neferbast. I don't know what that is, but it's UK. And there's another one. Hostilfinia, Japan. Is that Hostilfinia, UK? That's the Japanese bit. That's the UK bit. You can stop and read this if you like about the Blemmies. They have a reputation for being a bit kinky. What? And they live down around here, around the Great Circle. I would advise you to read all of this yourself. Otherwise, this video is going to take a long time. There's a barbaric Blemmy. Byeorusia, controlled by Japan. The Duffy Rosen Blemmy were prepared for invasion after the fall of Hoshifima. Fuck me, man, this gets crazier. But I ain't going to read it. Now, you can stop yourselves and read it, man. What? Now, down around the Serpent's Gate, you've got Novo Yakutia, which is Russia. Russia, what are the Russians? And they're right beside the Poles, would you believe it, New Poland. And the Yi colony of Korea. And everybody seems to be getting along fine. Now, UK, another colony out here, maybe that's the same one. You've got the Circle of the Tsar out here. You got another UK one out here, the Great Circle. Circle of the Cathedral belongs to Portugal. And I was looking for something here to do with Hawaiians. I can't really see it. Ah, yes. Oh, fuck. Yes. Now, remember I said about having some strange alliances out here, right? You've got a good mix, still trying to figure out how to be a major trade port, a good mix of green Ukrainians, Yakuts, and Hawaiians. What the fuck is going on down on this island, man? You got chicks dancing on the beach in grey skirts and grass skirts, ding-a-ling, ding-a-ding-ding. Yeah, fucking, what do you call them? Fucking Ukrainians firing Kalashnikovs through the sky. I wonder what the fucking Yakuts are getting up to. Maybe they were Yahoos. The Yahoos that Lemuel Gulliver was talking about. Oh, and just down here, right here in this corner of Xenonesia, people's flock here to start new lives as part of this blossoming Muslim community. Ooh. You've got Russian Neferbasta at the Circle of the Tsar. Beside the Portuguese, Ray Franza Josef, Russia. Kiel des Nobel, I don't know who they are. The Blemmies down there. The Portuguese are everywhere. Korean Neferbasta. Russian Neferbasta. No. And Strabrele, belonging to the Adaic. Yeah. Everybody getting along fine? Yeah, just as I go up another little bit. Whoops. Yeah. These places here, Zerzura, Sarawak, and the fucking Zerzurans and the Sarawakians are living beside the Russians and the Portuguese. And why is everybody getting along well together? Because we got an Antarctic Treaty. No shooting at each other down here. Just to give you a little bit of a close-up of the Blemmies and the dark sexual shit that they get up to down in Blemmyland. Right, here comes one of the good bits, Circle of the Prophet. In between Russian Neferbasta and this other part of Russia over here. The site of the first colony in Xenonesia was that was originally founded by Muslim merchants, mostly hailing from the Aceh Sultanate, to operate as a hub of trade and Islamic proselytization. As the Dutch conquered the native regimes of Indonesia, this colony would continue to operate as an independent entity, styling itself as the Mecca of Xenonesia, a center of Islamic learning, while the Prophet's success in converting Blemmy communities beyond their shores has been negligible. The fucking Russians are, the Muslims are trying to convert the fucking Blemmies. Right? Can you Adam and Eve this? And the fucking Blemmies aren't stupid, right? If you were a Blemmy, you might think that Blemmy women were lovely. But anyway, they didn't like the Muslims. Yeah, these are Arab islands, apparently, where they try and do their conversions. Yeah, I don't know why I stopped at this page here, but there might be some interesting things to read there. I'm not going to read through them now. I don't want the video becoming too long. So, I just stopped here for a moment to stop off here at Golok, Burma. Large islands have respectable trading posts and tropical crop industry, while smaller islands are home to local warlord pirates fighting each other for turf. Both, however, are beholden above all to trade in blemmy slaves. Holy shit. These people are not nice at all. It does say somewhere here, if not here, on one of the other pages that I've pulled up here, that Siam has its colony here. Siam, right? And they are capturing and training blemmies and using them for slavery. Yeah, vomit. Where'd you hear this shit, right? Little them ding plain plantings. I think fuck, but it's UK. Okay, 2 islands. This one and this one. A pair of prison colonies, 1 male, 1 female. Dedicated those criminals that the British government wanted to remove from the public eye, but had no particular desire to punish. One is a female island, yeah, and one is a male island. The female island is inhabited mainly by suffragette types, and the male one by discredited politicians, the subjects of scandals and the like. So I wonder what motherfuckers are down there. Man, anyway, how would you get from the male island to the female island if you were thinking about, you know, if I was down there, and anyway, I better stop here. Fuck me, some crazy shit going on down here too, okay? Sarawak colony. As well as natural traps and native gorillas, these particular islands were made more dangerous still when Sarawak dropped off boatloads of Dayak. These fucking people smuggling these fuckers, right? Borneans to prepare them for administration, which of course they were unable to do. But now they can be found roaming the island, ready to decapitate anyone they don't recognize as Sarawak. Send them to that fucking British prison island. A post-Venetian nation lucrative source of ruthless, competent and politically non-aligned privateers that can be... I tell you that, there's a lot of information here. Yeah, any pages that I pull up, right, that I can actually see them quite clearly and I can read them, I'll pull them up for you. Caleco Kingdom, stranded Spaniards. These are worth stopping and having a little read over because otherwise the video gets too long. Right, we're getting near the end here, but this is worth a read, all right? Dishiposu, the phantom gorilla. At every turn there can be found what can be described as hazards, fortifications and booby traps hidden throughout the wilderness. These islands would appear specifically designed to repel intruders, as if they were being fiercely defended by native warriors. But the native people are not responsible for these deadly perils. Instead, they are naturally occurring features, plants and animals whose attributes and behaviours make traversing these islands a harrowing venture. The native people are known as Mosonoson, humans who formerly inhabited Xenonesia before the Blemmy invaded and forced them to make new homes in these hostile lands. Now, the sea and the land is booby-trapped all around these islands. So if you did try to make, if you don't know what channels to go through, if you haven't got your route mapped out, all right, and you end up in one of these places, use serpent food. And have a look at this place. Gemenia, prison of the Juado. So, sounds like some places are nice and some places are not nice. And some places you're going to get fucking locked up and you ain't going to find your way back. Yeah. So just coming to the end now to have a little chat here about the Adaig. So no matter how hostile the environment, nothing could stop the Adaig when they heard that there were 4 cash crops to be found here. 3 of them unique: sandalwood, candle nuts, wine nuts, and gum nuts. Numb nuts. So what do you reckon? What do you think of Notum Mundo, 1830 AD, map of the world and the world beyond? Now, I'm going to continue here with a few more videos after this, okay? Because we can get into who lives out here and what's going on. And who lives out here and out here and out here. These are fucking massive, big fucking continents, bigger than fucking Africa, 3 times the size of Africa. You know, I showed you video of the fucking Space Force guy telling us continents beyond Antarctica, beyond the South Pole, 3 times the size of Africa. And Admiral Dickie Bird, I heard it from a Dickie Bird told me, that there was land beyond the ice walls of Antarctica as big as Middle America. Yeah, nobody lives there. Coal, everything fucking down there. Which one is it, Admiral Byrd? This, that, the other. Now, this is what I'm claiming. These gates, the gates that we can see on all the old world maps, have names. Tell us who the fucking lives there. Tell us what kind of people are all gathering there. How dangerous they are, how nice they are, what a mix they are. There are 59 or odd signatories to the Antarctic Treaty here. Inside this fucking circle. But how many other signatories have signed this treaty? Have all these fucking Akinakins and fucking Zombie-Doomians, I can't even remember their fucking names, weird names out here, have they all signed this as well? I said, okay, let's try and live together in this place, and in this place, and in this place, and not get up to too much trouble. Yeah, let's split the minerals up amongst ourselves. Don't tell anybody about it. You don't tell the people who live inside your place all about it, and we won't tell the people who live out here all about you. Okay? So there's your fucking Antarctic Treaty, people. Make of it what you will. Dark shit. Have fun. I'll be back with more.